really excited, they crank out a whole bunch of textures.
Right.
How long does a picture like this take?
This was probably about 20 hours, 25 hours. Some go faster, maybe anywhere between 15 and 25 hours, I guess I'd say.
All painted in Photoshop?
Yeah.
With a tablet?
Yeah, with a tablet. And these tend to be for, depending on the purpose of the concept art that, it has to serve. I mean, if it was just a concept for the modelers to kind of work with a rail car, I mean, the background could be a lot more minimal. You wouldn't have to spend as much time in it. But again, with something like this, we're using it as, for the textures, and so there's a lot more detail in the overall thing. So it's more of a completed illustration, I guess, than sometimes a lot of concept art is.
Do you ever work on paper or just always Photoshop?
Primarily Photoshop now. I mean, I do sometimes. I'll do some quick pencil sketches and then scan them in and paint over them, or just totally repaint them from scratch in Photoshop. But primarily everything is done in digitally right now.
But you could paint this stuff in oils, real oils, if you wanted to, right? Or maybe not this detail. But I mean, your background is oil painting, right?
Well, I actually use acrylics mostly. But yeah, I mean, when I was in school, I was primarily painting with traditional media. So it wasn't until pretty much my senior year that I started getting more into the digital side of it. And even that was still heavily combined with I would paint and on canvas, and then scan that in, and then work on top of that digitally. So it still had that kind of combination to it.
I wonder if that has a different kind of quality.
It can. I mean, it's nice to get that tactile, textural feeling of the actual paint and the actual canvas. I mean, you can actually kind of mimic some of that look.
I can see you do that all the time.
In Photoshop now, I mean, there's even, you can create custom brushes that allow you to do that to some extent. But
I've heard of people using overlay, scanned in, oil painting, just as a faint overlay, to give it some of
the
that
paper.
texture.
Yeah, they scan the paper.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I've played around with a lot of different things like that, various times. So this is
getting near the end here.
Yeah, a concept for the, another prop and then an environment for it, which again just being that alien specimen container in a laboratory. So pretty typical sci-fi kind of thing that every game and movie has, but it's always fun to see. So.
All right. Well, that wraps up this podcast, our first video podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Give us feedback. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you next week.